Life's Financial Milestones. My name is Jeremy Finger, founder and CEO of Riverbend Wealth Management and certified financial planner. All right, you're born. Congrats, welcome to the world. What now? Hopefully, if you're a parent or grandparent, what you could do is open up a 529 plan account. I opened up one for my son as soon as he had a social security number, and I dumped in some money. That's a great place to put in birthday money or extra money, and that money grows for their education. Today's rules, that qualifies for even grade school. If they go to private school, or they go to college or trade schools, or they even includes off-campus housing, this money can be taken out tax-free, qualified tax-free withdrawals from those accounts. Now, gross tax-free comes out tax-free. Do you get a tax deduction? Depends on what state. Depends on what state you're in. Another type of account you could open up for your child or grandchild is an UGMA account, UTMA or UGMA account. It is a taxable account for the benefit of that child. All right? They can put birthday money in there, things like that. I opened up one for my son, again, as soon as he had a social security number, so he had a 529 plan account and an UGMA account on there. Now, one thing about the UGMA accounts is when they turn 18 years old, typically they need to be converted over to an individual account that they have access to. Just saying. So be mindful of that if you're going to spendthrift kid. So when they're 18 years old, they have to convert, or they're supposed to convert their UGMA accounts over to individuals. Although I've seen many accounts not get converted until well in their late 20s. Really encourage your kids and grandkids to start saving early. There's been many studies done that when you save early and often, it's way better than starting heavy and later, okay? You can see some illustrations here. For example, if you started at this age, if you started early, you're going to end up with this amount. You started later, end up with this amount and the same return. And so early. My son, because he had his 529 plan, because he had his UGMA accounts, we put money in his accounts early. And as soon as he got earned income, when he worked his first job, he was able to open up a Roth IRA, a tax-free account for him for his retirement. Now you can only put up to 100% of earned income or up to $7,000, at least at present, in there. So if he makes only $1,000, he can only put in $1,000. He makes $10,000, he can only put in $7,000. I'm just saying, that's really good. One other cool thing that you can do for your newborn is create an email account for them. Well, Jeremy, why would I need to create an email account for them? Anything memorable for that child, send them an email. Pictures, photos, anything, thoughts. And then when they turn 18 or whatever date you feel they're responsible, give them access to that email account. It's kind of a good little keepsake in the digital world. All right, so let's say you're in your 50s. Now you're getting really kind of towards crunch time to save for retirement. You got catch-up contributions that allow you to put in more money in a lot of retirement plans like 401ks, IRAs, and health savings accounts. You're able to put in more money after age 50 typically than you could prior to age 50. Work with your financial advisor to see what is most optimal for you. 59 and a half. 59 and a half is an age where you can take money typically out of IRA accounts without penalty. Now, it still can be taxable, all right? And 59 is relatively young, all right? So be mindful of what you're spending money on. So let me give you an example. I had a client of mine who was 62 years old, and they were looking to buy a second home, okay, on the river. Wonderful. And they had plenty of money. So they had a lot of money in their IRA and had a lot of money in their other accounts. And they were like, Jeremy, well, I'm just going to take it. And I'm like, well, if you took it from your taxable account, they would have to pay capital gains tax. In their instance, it would have been 20% or more on a lot of money. The other accounts on an IRA account would have been taxable ordinary income, which would have been well over 30% or more if you took into account the state taxes. So what we did was we talked through the situation, and it came clear that it would have been better for them to take some money out for a down payment and borrow that money. Back then it was like 4%. Then it would have been to take money from the IRA account or their retail account to pay the taxes. All right. Well, Jeremy, don't they have to pay that money back? Yeah, they do. But you can modulate what income comes from when and make extra payments as needed. All right. So thinking through real world scenarios. Sometimes it's better to borrow money even when you got it if you're avoiding taxes. All right. So when you reach your 60s, a lot of times many people take Social Security early. And that might be good for some people. But for a lot of people, it may not be the right play. Because when you're thinking of a husband and a wife, you have to think in terms of what's best for the couple. And improper Social Security planning can lead up to $100,000 or $200,000 less for your benefit. So work with somebody to really do some good Social Security planning. Typically, it's better when you retire to take money from your pre-tax accounts because you're now in a lower tax bracket because you're no longer working, and let your Social Security grow all the way and max it out at age 70. You can take a look at some of these Social Security videos that we've done and some topics on that. You can also click the links below in some of the blogs that we wrote about Social Security. All right, so age 65 is also a key date. That's when you are able to apply for Medicare. You want to apply 3 months before your 65th birthday. Number one, it gets you a real good head start. Now, it won't start on your 65th birthday month unless you applied the month before. That's why I say apply 3 months before you turn 65, so it starts the month you turn 65. All right? All right, age 70. You took some good advice and started taking Social Security at age 70. Great job. What else can you do in your 70s? When you turn 70 and a half, you can do what's called qualified charitable distributions. If you give money to charity, you can take money directly from your IRA account, send it over to charity, no tax. Paying with pre-tax money, that's pretty good. Make sure that you have your estate planning done as well. You may have things set up wonderfully between you and your spouse. Great. When assets tend to drop down to the next generation or the next generation, if things aren't clearly spelled out, there could be disagreements within families. So a lot of times you may have things set up tax efficiently, but having detailed documents protects relationships as well. Now, let's talk a little bit about tax efficiencies as far as cost basis is concerned. If you take let's say, for instance, I saw one person wanted to give their house to their daughter, and they had a lot of capital gains in that house. So, the house, they bought it for $100,000, for example, and now it was worth $500,000. If they gifted that house to their daughter would inherit that cost basis. And if the daughter sold it, she'd have to pay capital gains on $400,000. The difference is that if the mother in this instance died with a $500,000 house, the daughter gets a step up in cost basis, meaning the daughter receives that home at a $500,000 level. She can sell that home no tax. So, thinking through what you want to accomplish and taking into account taxes is a big deal. A lot of times people say, well, this mutual fund does this or that mutual fund does that, and trying to think about what's the best thing, when doing things tax-wise and structuring things properly can potentially save you $50, $100, hundreds of thousands of dollars if you do it properly. All right, so work with a good tax attorney, work with a good state attorney, work with a good financial planner that understands your overall picture to structure things properly for you. So to recap, invest early and often, open up accounts, savings accounts for your kids and grandkids early. That could be UGMA accounts or 529 plans. Remember, catch-up contributions when you're over age 50 to really start putting on the gas, saving for retirement. Work with income distribution during your 60s to optimize and try to keep your taxes low, doing Roth conversions when available or when appropriate. Work with a good tax planner, work with a good CPA. Max out your Social Security benefits so that will be great for longevity insurance. Also, if you give to charity in your 70s, try to do so from your IRA accounts. Obviously, check with your CPA first. Have your estate planning done. Think about cost basis when you're giving stuff away.